Welcome back to Tarot with a Twist or wordwithatwist.com. And today we're going to do a little bit of a dive into the Marseille versus Rider-Waite. And what happened here, I was talking with a good friend of mine, Martin, over at Martin Musings. Lovely fellow. If you haven't seen his channel, go check it out, Martin Musings, and you're going to love it. She says some really good videos, some great advice, just a great all-around person. And we were talking about exactly this right here. And a lot of people, they look at the Rider-Waite cards and they see the Seven of Pentacles and automatically go, do I have enough? Right? That's kind of what the keywords are showing you, and you can go deeper in and go, well, there's 5 and a 2. You're kind of like contemplating if you have enough, and it's really heavy on the mind, even though it's an Earth card. So 7, you're always assessing to make sure you did enough. That's one way of looking at it with the Rider-Waite, because the picture kind of drives it. And if you going even further, what you're going to see is a staff, a wand, fire. You can torch it too and all goes away. This bush here gets burned up is another way of looking at it. Or you can look at it with the number of pentacles, which is 6, with a 1, by saying like, well, it looks harmonious, it looks balanced, it looks plentiful, but 1, did I do enough? See, it kind of always goes back to that when you look at the card. And the Rider-Waite, I think, kind of takes away from the meaning in a sense. Also color, right? Because it's green on the clothes, it's very earthy vibe. You have the blue, so it also can be very emotional when you're trying to figure things out. But when you compare that to the Marseille, it's interesting because depending on how this card is, again, you don't really read reversals, you read geometric patterns, right? So here's like, did I do enough? Yeah, this way is like, it's a prolonged process of wondering if you did enough. Or it's like, yes, I did, if you read the actual opposite meaning. Okay, so how you read is your choice, but I'm just sharing this with you. But here it's different because what you see is there's no thinking in that card at all, right? There's no thinking, none. What you see is here you have 4. 4 is stability, okay? And when you think about that, you then have 3 pentacles on top of that stability. So what that means is that it's kind of like a top. You can spin it and it just stays spinning. It allows you to grow. 3, grow. So from a foundation that's stabilized, 4, you then have 3 growth options in front of you because you're making decisions on how you want to play it with the 1. Geometry, right? Pattern recognition. Now, what happens here? Well, this now teeters, the stability teeters on that 3. And so even though it's still analyzing it, you're analyzing the stability on something that can allow it to collapse because you're not sure of yourself. You don't have enough growth yet to know how to fix it from falling over. Here you have enough. Here you don't. You're always second guessing yourself, and I was wondering how it's going to hold up under weight. See, so it's like when you read the Rider-Waite versus Marseille, it's just a completely different way of looking at the decks and the cards. You don't read in the same way at all. Now, what I want to look at next are these 3 cards, okay? So when you think about the Hierophant, it's about the function, right? And so in the Rider-Waite, that card does still look religious in a sense. And that's not where I'm going with this, but just keep that in mind, okay? So the function of the Pope is the Hierophant in the Rider-Waite is to really bring structure and order. That's kind of like what they say, right? Dogma. It was reversed. It's like being free from dogma, being free from institution, and so forth. So again, that's what the keywords are, and that's what the meanings are. But when you look at it deeper, it's red. It's the passion behind it that drives it, that drives that structure, that order, that dogma, that whatever it might be. That 5, that connection to the upper world, to lower world, right? That's what a Hierophant does. But it also has a lot of occultism embedded in it. I'm not going to go there. But you also have 2 pillars here, okay? Which also means something. And he's sitting on a throne, okay? 2 keys, Peter's gate, the feet, the red. We can go into this for about, it's not what this is about. And the 5 on the card is really, this person can be a tyrant or they can be a deliverer of peace. So 5 can be free or 5 can be struggle. Okay. But when you look at the Marseille, even though it's kind of the same, you got more of that priesthood look to it, right? So it's more like he is the one that basically brings you to the spiritual plane. It's kind of the same feel, but it's different, but it's still a 5. So which means that this person like is always looking into the future, where this person's always looking straight on. So this card to me is more in the now, but the Marseille, because it's looking into the future to the right, he's always thinking about how to bring you along. He just wants the order right now. He's thinking about how to do it in a sense. And the 5 is, if he's a tyrannical type of a pope, the father, the Holy Father, then he's going to bring you to hell with him. If he's a pure Holy Father, the Pope, Pape, then he'll enlighten you to the next level, take you into the 6, unity with oneself, the lover, right? Again, I'm kind of bridging there between the Marseille and Rider Waite, because that's more, like it says, more of the occult side of it per se. But the function here is just, it's a pope. So when you look at the Marseille, it's like, what did they do? They brought people together. They let you confess your sins. They let you find your path to God and so forth. So it's a different vibe. But the 5 is what I'm looking at, because the 5 is really a heavy number. Now, what's interesting about that is when you look at the other 2 cards, the High Priestess and the Rider Waite is more occultic. Here you have like symbolism, reproduction, right? You have the Tree of Life. It's a veil. It's hiding what's behind it. You have water, which is very emotional. You can't see it. So things are hidden in a sense. So you have to tap into the psyche, to your intuition, more so with the High Priestess. And this is also steeped in occultism. Okay, so the Rider Waite is more along that line of reading. Then you have the 2 pillars, Boaz and Joab, I think is what it is. And there's also different meanings too on these 2 pillars, but most people used to say that about the B and the J on there. Anyway, black and white, subconscious, conscious, light, truth, dark, light, etc., etc. So in blue, emotions, watery, flowing, intuition, etc., 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 right? But then when you look at the High Priestess, she is like, I would say this card is more like Mary Magdalene in a sense, right? Because in tradition, not the typical Western tradition, but in older tradition, it says that Jesus taught her directly. He didn't speak to her in parables like he did the apostles. He spoke to her plainly. So she had a high position. And a lot of women in this day and age had a high position, but it's been lost because of the church, right? So with her, the feminine figure of the Pope, nun, female priest, whatever, she's not really hiding anything. Her job is to bring you knowledge from the past to the future. Teachings of Jesus now comes forward because she's looking to the past. She's looking to the left. She's passive. She's not active, right? Where he is looking to the right, he's more active. He's always wanting to go. So he's not really thinking through clearly. She is. She's always making decisions to bring you the best answers that she can. Feminine, masculine. See the difference there? It's huge. But what's really kind of interesting is the number 2, okay? The number 2, which then takes us to the number 3, because 3 and 2 is 5. And that brings me to the Empress. Now, this is interesting. So the Empress is all around growth, fertility, nurturing type of energy, because there's a 3. She communicates, okay? And when you put, again, she's more of like royalty, I would say. This is more like that, again, esotericism type of a vibe. This is more like what's the function of this person? Yeah, think about that, because that's what it was. But I'm looking at it from the number point of view. She was all around nurturing, communication, growth, expansion, etc. Next is the Emperor, but we're not going to go there. We don't need to. But what my point was is the 3 and the 2 become the 5. And it's almost, to me, it's like this is more powerful than this, because through bringing you forward through the right decisions and allowing that to grow, these 2 become 1. That's a 5. It's freeing because it's more thoughtful. It's more thought out. It's passive. It's not so 5 right now in one number in your face. do what I say. End of story. It's like, well, think about it, see how you resonate with it, and move forward. Anyway, I want to share that with you. I thought it was kind of interesting, kind of cool. So this type of talks I have with my friend Martin all the time. I mean, literally all the time. I'll pick up the phone at like 3 a.m. Hey, dude, check this out. What do you think about this? Like I did a reading the other night. I might share it with you guys too. It's for myself, it wasn't for anybody. And it's the way the cards come up, because even like when you think about swords, the mind, when you think about the Marseille, it's really, hold on. It's all about, where's the swords at? That's wands. Hold on. It's all about the geometry again, like this 7 here this is an interesting card too. So we're going to go to the right away too. Since I pulled the card up, we're just going to do it. So, okay. So the 7, right? People say it's about stealing. It's about deception. No, it's really not actually. Even in the Rider-Waite, see, that's the problem. Don't look at what the meaning is. What do you see in that card? What do you see? Because that's what defines what the image actually means, right? So you see a person holding 3, 4, 5 swords, 2 in one hand, 3 in the other. He's deciding for something to 3 to communicate, maybe. Okay. He's leaving 2 behind so they can decide how they're going to handle that. So maybe he's trying to stop a fight. He's not really trying to steal anything at all because this is a mind card. Is he maybe also holding his thoughts so that people can't take them 5 from him and cause him more trauma? That's a way of looking at it. But then when you look at the Marseille, what do you see? You see 3 swords surrounding 1 stuck in the middle, right? Now, I use color. A lot of people don't. I do. And that's how I do it. And that's the way it is. If they don't agree, I don't care. All right? Because that's the way I read it. But you have a lot of black in this card. Black's the subconscious mind. And the swords are mind. This is the 7 of swords. It's kind of heavy. It's stuck. 5 and 2 is important as well, but we're not going to go there right now. So 3 is the communication is bound. It's stuck. It's like bound together, and you can't get that unity that it needs. So even though it's trying to get unity with the 6, it can't because it's trapped. The mind's trapped. And the blue is like, it's also causing a little bit of emotions. And what's interesting is it's all around your passion because the sword's red. And there's also, I'll write about this soon, or I'll share it on here. I don't know yet, but there's a whole thing on swords, different way they lay, up, down, cross, crossed, the cross like that, or cross down. It means something actually in swords. If you go back and even look at history, it means something. So a sword being down is like defeated because not only you're defeated, you're stuck in the mind. You can't release your passion to free yourself. Totally different vibe. You cannot read this card with like, oh, deception. No, it's not deception. It's like your mind's trapped and you don't know what to do. You can't get the new option, the new piece of clarity out of your mind because it's stuck in your emotions, in your head. You're in your head here. And then when you look at the numbers 2, 5, you're just struggling with 2, making a decision. You can't make a decision because your mind's just really heavy. Now you see that same card, but the reading is completely different, but they still can gel. You can still read them together. And so what I've been doing a lot, and I'm going to start offering this in my readings more and more, is I'm going to start with Marseille, period. I think. I said period, hard stop, right? And then layer in the Rider-Waite, because see, what I'm learning about the Marseille that I like, it reads a lot like Lenormand, and it's in a line, when you read it, it's like, it gives you like a concrete look into something because you're looking at the pattern. You're looking at the geometry of the card. You're not looking at the picture that can kind of cloud your vision a little bit. So this gives me more of like the concrete of what's going on. And I always start with like 3 cards because you don't need more than 3 to start. And the center card, it's just, again, it's how I read it. You may read differently, and that's totally cool. But the center card is your core tension. It's like the theme, core tension. The thing that is really bothering you is a central card. All right. Then you lay out 2 other cards, and they're called the marrying cards or flanking cards. So you can then read it as a storyline or how those energies interact with the central theme card. Okay. I'll do some more tutorials, so I'll do another video, not in this one. And then to get an answer, you then can draw another card. And if you want to go up, it's like, well, what's kind of seen right now? You're going to go up on top of that card. So let's say here is like, my mind is heavy. Why? I'll put this on top. Oh, because I'm struggling around finances. I don't know how to really find stability because what I'm trying to work on right now, 3, trying to create. So think about the 3. You're trying to expand a little bit. You don't know how to stabilize that growth. So your mind's just working overtime to figure it out. That's how you kind of read it. That's on top. But if you want to say, well, okay, well then, if I let go, then what happens? Well, you're still kind of stuck because your mind's trapping you from solving the problem to bring you a little bit of prosperity. So you'll sit here and try to analyze the situation, right? And what's funny is that these 2 cards together is a 14. A 1 and 4 energy is a 5 energy. So it's saying that in order to bring that new possibility, you have to let that 4 stabilize. And if you don't, then the 5 continues to create struggle for you. See, so again, where you put it at means it's like in the past, well, you came from this problem that's giving you a lot of headache. You have a lot of headache because you don't know how to figure it out. You have headache because under the scenes, you're worried about finances and so forth. You see what I'm saying? So it depends on where it's at in the spread. It won't change the meaning too much, but kind of changes the perspective of the question. And that's why I like laying down Marseille first and then coming back in with the Rider Waite on top of it, or even Lenormand on top of it. Because I feel like when you start blending the things together, you get such a cleaner read, and you can't second guess yourself, because when the cards line up like that on multiple systems, there's no getting around it. It is what it is. Anyway, that's all I got. And if you would like a reading for yourself, head over to wordwithtwist.com and book a reading. Or if you want a little one-on-one mentoring like this, I have a one-on-one thing where you can upload the images, give me how you interpret your reading, and then I would do a video like this and help interpret it with you. It'd be pre-recorded, of course. I'm trying to figure out how to do like a live with you one-on-one on that, but right now everything's pre-recorded. Anyway, that's all I got. And until next time, I want to see you in my next video or tutorial. All right. Bye, everybody.